What's up everybody, my name's Arcane Keyblade and today we're going to do another top 5 video, and today is going to be my top 5 favorite magic in the Kingdom Hearts series. And depending on which game you actually play, magic kind of comes in handy differently depending on the game. Say you play Kingdom Hearts 1, it is nearly impossible to get through that game without some sort of magic. Actually almost every game, but things like 358 by 2 days where that is nearly all your offensive moves makes magic a little above the rest. But today we're going to be looking at my favorite spells for magic, and yeah, enough talking, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 5, the magic spell that pretty much broke Dream Drop Distance, we have Balloon. And the reason I put it up here because I don't try to use it, because I know it makes that game very broken, because it is a broken spell that pretty much summons balloons, and if it touches anything, it does a massive amount of damage, can stun and utterly destroy the enemy it touches. So yeah, it's a great spell, it's very powerful, but unbelievably broken. And that's why it's at number 5. Great spell, but broken to hell. At number 4, we have Arrow, which is a very useful spell in Kingdom Hearts 1, where it pretty much is used as a shield. And if you're playing on harder difficulties, you need this spell. And it appears in Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 350 by 2 days, Birth by Sleep, and Recoded. But the version I'm mainly talking about is Kingdom Hearts 1 and maybe Chain of Memories, because I use it in Chain of Memories. It's actually very useful in there, especially when you're kind of caged in with a bunch of Heartless. But I'm mainly talking about Kingdom Hearts 1 because it's a great shield and almost needed to play through parts of Kingdom Hearts 1 on harder difficulties. It's just a great spell. At number 3, we have the Hammer of Zeus, Thunder. Thunder is an amazing offensive spell, and my favorite offensive spell, unless you want to count Reflect as an offensive spell, because technically it does do damage to the enemy. Technically Arrow does too after you upgrade it enough. But especially when you get Thunder to really high levels, to Thundaga, it is extremely powerful, and sure, it's a little different compared to each game. Once you shoot down a bunch of different lightning bolts, and then like 2, and I believe Birth by Sleep, you shoot mainly 1 bolt. But either way, it's very powerful and my favorite offensive spell. And at number 2, I don't know how you could argue against the spell Cure. You don't need potions, you just use Cure. And surely in Kingdom Hearts 1 it's a little more powerful than I'd say in Kingdom Hearts 2, for the fact that you can almost spam it as long as you have ethers. In Kingdom Hearts 2 you can only usually use it once, and then you have to wait for your MP bars to recharge. But nonetheless, in all the games you need freaking Cure. It's powerful, it's just needed. You have to have it pretty much. If you go on, I'd say just a item run, I've never done this before, and I've never even seen anybody do it. I'd assume it's really hard, so Cure is a very needed and very strong magic spell to have. And at number 1, my favorite spell of them all, one that I actually never used until recently, Reflect, because it is so strong. And some people could say broken, but it helps so much. Reflect, where any attack that is dealt to you is then, if their enemy is then still around you, it deals that damage. Basically, I don't know if the equivalent amount of damage, but I don't think it is. I think it's even more damage to the enemy, and it is an extremely strong attack, and actually really strategic in a lot of boss battles, especially harder ones, if you use it right. The thing I would say that doesn't make it broken is the fact that if you use Reflect at a certain time, and the enemy's then farther away, it doesn't do damage to them. So in a way, it doesn't make it broken, but if they are near it, and they get hit by it, it will obliterate almost any enemy near you. So that is why it is number 1 on my list. And that is it for my top 5 favorite Kingdom Hearts magic spells. Tell me which yours are down in the comments, and I will judge them all. Otherwise, my name's Arcane Keyblade, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.